Imagine a world where arguments fill every conversation and winning debates seems like the pinnacle of intelligence. But have you ever wondered if arguing is truly a sign of strength? Perhaps arguing is a mask for something deeper, possibly even weakness. Today, we delve into the ideas of Friedrich Nietzsche, one of the most provocative thinkers. Nietzsche believed that arguing often serves as a refuge for the weak. By the end of this journey, you will not only reconsider your attitude towards conflicts, but also see human communication in a new light. Nietzsche's philosophy challenges many social norms, and his view on arguments is no exception. He claimed that strength is not in the ability to dominate or win debates. True strength lies in the courage to stand by your convictions, even in silence. Often, those who constantly argue compensate for inner insecurity or lack of clarity. To understand this idea, one must first study Nietzsche's broader understanding of human nature and the dynamics of power. People often argue to assert their superiority or to protect their self-esteem. Nature asserts that, at the core of arguments, lies a fragile ego, needing validation through the agreement of others. This validation through the submission of others is a sign of weakness. Strong personalities do not need external recognition. They are confident in their own truths. In Thus Spoke Zarathustra, Nietzsche introduces the concept of the Overman, a figure who surpasses social norms and lives authentically. The Overman does not engage in empty disputes because his goal is self-overcoming, not proving his correctness to others. Nietzsche believes that those who argue constantly get stuck in anger, a reactive state where a person defines themselves through opposition to others. Such a way of life is weak because it surrenders control over emotions and personality to external circumstances. Think about the last argument. Was it really about the topic? Or did it hide a deep emotional need to be recognized as smart and right? The strongest people are those who can recognize an inner impulse and resist it. Instead of reacting, they choose reflection and awareness. Instead of arguing, such people rise above conflicts. This does not mean passivity or silence in the face of injustice. On the contrary, they value actions more than words. For them, strength lies in demonstrating their values through life and choices, not through empty words and beliefs. The truly powerful do not need to convince others of their beliefs. They embody them. They understand that arguments rarely change opinions. They only reinforce positions and divide people. As Nietzsche wrote, a person must always struggle not to be absorbed by the tribe. This struggle can be lonely and frightening, but nothing is worth the price you pay for the right to own yourself and your life. This idea is especially relevant today, as social networks amplify disagreements and turn minor disputes into large-scale conflicts. Nietzsche's point of view reminds us to reflect: what do I want to achieve? Is this argument worth my energy? Or am I just reacting to others' expectations? His philosophy calls to step back and focus on the main thing, on one's own values and inner harmony, building inner strength instead of destroying others. What does that mean? For Nietzsche, it all begins with self-knowledge, awareness of one's motives, fears, and desires. Nietzsche believed that most people do not realize their true motives and fears, so they become slaves to external circumstances, easily falling prey to manipulation and provocations. Inner strength, on the contrary, is born from a deep understanding of oneself. It is the ability to remain calm and resilient despite external chaos and difficulties. Nietzsche's criticism in the debate also concerned the concept of truth. He argued that absolute truth is an illusion created by people to explain the world. If truth is subjective, then why argue about it? For Nietzsche, the pursuit of personal truth, one's own understanding of life, was much more important. He urged exploring one's values, beliefs, and purpose, rather than blindly following social norms or proving something in arguments. This idea is both liberating and challenging. It requires letting go of the need to be right, accepting uncertainty, and focusing on self-knowledge. Nietzsche's philosophy makes us ask ourselves, who am I really, beyond my arguments and beliefs? What do I stand for, and do I live authentically or just react to others' expectations? As you finish this section, reflect on this during a debate. When you want to argue, stop and think. Is this an opportunity to assert the ego or a moment for growth? Nietzsche's wisdom calls us to see arguments differently. Arguments are not battles to win, but mirrors reflecting the inner state. The question is, what will you see looking into this mirror? Let's go further. Let's explore Nietzsche's deep understanding of the dynamics of power and its influence on human behavior. At the core of philosophy is the concept of the will to power. It is the fundamental driving force behind all human actions, not only the desire to survive, but also the aspiration to thrive, grow, and assert oneself in the world. True strength, according to Nietzsche, lies not in controlling others, but in controlling oneself. This is an important distinction. Why do people argue? Most often because of a mistaken desire to dominate or control another's perspective. But Nietzsche deeply understood that true strength is inner harmony and self-control. What is troubling about such behavior is that it often conceals an inner emptiness, a lack of confidence, clarity, and purpose. People argue not because they are strong, but out of a sense of threat. Nietzsche often criticized what he called herd mentality. The herd consists of people who conform to societal norms, seeking approval through collective consensus. They argue to strengthen their place in the group, prove loyalty to shared beliefs, or silence dissenters who disrupt their comfort zone. For Nietzsche, this was a sign of weakness. A truly strong person, the Übermensch, does not need the herd's approval. He lives by his own values, even if they go against the current. Now let's consider how this manifests in everyday life. In countless online debates, arguments often turn into personal attacks and endless cycles of refutations. Such interactions rarely lead to understanding or resolution. Instead, they reveal the deep insecurities of the participants, their need to be right, and their avoidance of vulnerability. Nietzsche's perspective forces us to see these moments as they are, distractions from real work on oneself and inner growth. Self-development and self-improvement require shifting focus from external approval to inner growth. This is the first step to breaking the vicious cycle. Instead of spending energy convincing others, it is better to direct it towards becoming a more authentic and resilient version of oneself. This requires courage. The courage to face one's fears, acknowledge flaws, and embrace the discomfort of change. Humility is also necessary. The willingness to admit that you don't have all the answers, and your point of view is just one among many. However, it is important to understand that this is not a call for isolation or disconnection from the world. Meaningful relationships and intellectual exchange are essential for growth. Such interactions should be based on mutual respect and a desire to seek deeper truths, not on a wish to dominate or humiliate. When we enter conversations with curiosity rather than a defensive stance, space emerges for genuine connection and understanding. You might wonder, does frequent arguing mean weakness? What truly represents strength in conflict? For nature, true strength lies not in winning an argument, but in strong individuals listen with an open mind, engage with ideas rather than ego, and remain true to their values even when challenged. They do not avoid difficult conversations, nor do they seek to prove their worth through confrontation. This is a manifestation of inner strength. Imagine someone questioning your beliefs or criticizing your actions. Your instinct is to defend or argue. But what if you pause and reflect? Use the moment to test your assumptions and assess if there is some truth in the criticism, or simply let the comment go without feeling the need to respond. This is not passivity, but a manifestation of strength and self-control. This proves that you are not easily shaken by external forces and that your self-esteem does not depend on the opinions of others. Natural insights have deep significance for resolving conflicts. Instead of seeing disagreements as battles, they can be viewed as opportunities for growth. Such a perspective changes not only personal relationships, but also social and cultural dynamics as a whole. By placing understanding above ego, we create space for constructive dialogue rather than destructive. Let's pause for a moment and consider how these ideas reflect in our experience. Have you ever found yourself in an argument where proving your opinion was more important than finding the truth? What did that experience reveal about your inner fears or desires? How might your life change if you applied Nietzsche's philosophy, approaching such situations with the goal of understanding rather than winning? The beauty of Nietzsche's teachings lies in their timeless relevance. In today's fast-paced and hyper-connected world, the call for self-improvement and authenticity remains powerful. He invites us to step back from the noise, analyze our motives, and embrace the challenge of living according to our deepest values. And yet we have only touched the surface. Nietzsche's philosophy offers deeper insights into human relationships, power dynamics, and the search for life's meaning. Continuing, we will explore how his ideas help not only to cope with conflicts but also to overcome them, leading to a greater sense of purpose and fulfillment in life. To deeply understand Nietzsche's view on the futility of disputes, one must delve into his concept of self-overcoming, which is the cornerstone of his philosophy. For nature, life is not a static state, but a constant process of growth, challenges, and transformations. Strength, according to Nietzsche, is born from the ability to overcome. One must overcome not only external obstacles, but also internal limitations, fear, doubts, and the ego's relentless need for validation. In disputes, especially those fueled by the ego, we often lose sight of the higher goal. The energy spent proving oneself right is better invested in self-improvement. Understanding others and refining one's viewpoint is more important than proving something in an argument. Nietzsche reminds us that the deepest battles are fought within ourselves. One of Nietzsche's most provocative ideas is the critique of morality as a tool of the weak. He believed that traditional moral systems arise from resentment, Resentment is a deeply rooted resentment of the weak towards the strong, leading to the creation of moral frameworks that value submissiveness and conformity over strength and individualism. In this context, arguments can be, this text discusses how some see attempts to impose values as a weakness instead of overcoming personal limitations, raising the question of engaging without argumentation traps. The suggested solution is dialogue, which differs from arguments by being collaborative and focused on understanding rather than winning or dominance. In dialogue, both participants approach the conversation with humility and a desire to learn, not to assert power, allowing exploration of ideas together. For example, two friends disagreeing on a deeply held belief. In argument, they would resist and escalate tension. But in dialogue, they ask questions and share experiences. Dialogue seeks common ground, resulting not only in better understanding, but also personal growth for both individuals involved. The natural dislike for arguing does not mean avoiding conflict entirely. Constructive conflict can be a strong catalyst for growth when handled properly. The challenge is to rise above petty disputes and concentrate on what truly matters, focusing on meaningful engagement rather than winning arguments. The pursuit of perfection, authenticity, and living life on one's own terms is important. This requires a shift in mindset, to see others not as enemies, but as companions on the journey of life. To apply this, consider Nietzsche's idea of eternal recurrence. Imagine living the same life over and over, repeating every moment infinitely. This thought experiment makes us reflect on the choices and values we uphold. Would you want to spend eternity in empty disputes or dedicate your life to something meaningful? Such a perspective can change life by reminding us that time is our most valuable resource, and every moment spent arguing is lost time for more worthwhile pursuits. Instead of meaningless debates, one can choose to invest energy in creativity, learning, and deep communication with others. Nietzsche's philosophy also forces us to reconsider our attitude towards truth. He argued that there are no facts, only interpretations. This does not mean that truth is unimportant, but only that it is always shaped through the prism of our perspective. In arguments, we often consider our point of view as the only correct one. Often we believe that only our point of view is right, and others are mistaken or deluded. However, nature teaches us to accept the complexity of truth. We begin to understand that different views can coexist. This changes our approach to disagreements. They become not a threat, but an opportunity to expand understanding. We learn to listen without defense, ask questions without hostility, and learn without fear. Such a shift in attitude helps us grow and develop. The teachings of nature go even deeper. They call us not just to overcome disputes, but to overcome our own self. This is the essence of self-improvement. It is a constant quest to become more than we are now. It is the shedding of fears, doubts, and ego that hold us back. We learn to embrace the courage to live authentically, showing our true selves. Near the end of the section, reflect on the power of silence in conflict. Nietzsche believed that silence is a form of strength, a refusal to engage in petty disputes. It is not the silence of submission, but the silence of self-confidence, the silence of one who knows their worth and does not need proof. Reflect on this and feel the power of inner calm. Next time you feel like arguing, pause and ask yourself what you are trying to achieve. Is it a chance for growth or just an ego reaction? The philosophy of nature calls to choose the path of strength, wisdom, and self-overcoming, even if that path is harder. It requires courage and inner discipline. As we prepare to delve into N's final teaching, we will see that his philosophy is not only a critique of arguments, but also a plan for a more meaningful life. The discoveries we make may change not only how we communicate with others, but also how we see ourselves and the world around us. Concluding Nietzsche's view on disputes, we encounter one of his deepest ideas. Strength is not about overpowering others, but about mastering oneself. This mastery goes beyond simply avoiding disputes. It is about living a life that reflects inner clarity, purpose, and resilience. Nietzsche believed that true strength is quiet, unwavering, and based on a person's ability to rise above the noise of the world. To fully understand this, let us once again turn to Nietzsche's concept, which reveals the depth of inner strength and self-control. The Overman represents the pinnacle of human potential, a person who has transcended societal expectations and overcome personal limitations. They have embraced life in all its complexity. The Overman does not engage in arguments because they have no need to. Their life itself is their argument, with actions, values, and achievements speaking louder than words. Today, this idea may seem counterintuitive. We live in an age of constant communication where opinions are shared, debated, and dissected at lightning speed. Social media, news platforms, forums, and public discourse often prioritize volume over depth. Loudness is easily mistaken for strength in this chaotic environment. Nietzsche's philosophy challenges us to step back from this chaos to focus on what truly matters, our own journey of growth and self-discovery. How can we apply Nietzsche's wisdom to daily life? First, we must recognize that not every disagreement requires our participation. We are not slaves to our impulses, but masters of our actions. First of all, we can strive to approach disagreements with curiosity rather than a defensive reaction. Instead of proving our rightness, we can try to understand the other person's point of view. This does not mean abandoning our beliefs. We must be open to the possibility of learning something new or seeing the world differently. Nature values intellectual courage, the ability to question one's assumptions. When faced with a potential argument, we can ask ourselves, is this truly worth my energy? Does this debate align with my values and goals? Nietzsche believed that choosing when and how to engage is a hallmark of strength, showing wisdom and self-mastery. Thirdly, we can focus on embodying our values rather than defending them in arguments. This means living in accordance with what we believe. N believed that authenticity is much stronger than rhetoric. When we live authentically, we inspire others, not with words, but with our example. Let's return to N's broader concept of life. His philosophy is to face the challenges and uncertainties of existence with courage and creativity. He believed that life is not a problem to be solved, but a canvas on which meaning is created. Arguments here are a distraction from the real work. Life is the process of becoming who we are meant to be. One of Nietzsche's most famous ideas is the concept of amor fati, or love of fate. This idea teaches us to accept everything that happens to us, joys and sorrows, successes and failures, as necessary parts of our journey. By adopting this stance, we can approach conflicts calmly, seeing disagreements not as obstacles but as opportunities for growth and learning. This leads us to the most important thought. Strength is not avoiding conflicts, but the ability to transform them. By approaching disagreements with wisdom, humility, and a desire for growth, we can turn even the toughest situations into moments of change. We can rise above the petty need to win and focus on what truly matters, building relationships and living sincerely. Concluding this journey through Nietzsche's philosophy, let us reflect on the profound truths he offers. According to Nietzsche, argument is often a sign of weakness, not because it is wrong, but because it distracts us from what is essential. The task of true self-overcoming is not to dominate others, but to master oneself. True strength lies in this. It manifests in the courage to live sincerely, in the humility to question one's beliefs, and in the wisdom to focus on what truly matters. Next time you feel like arguing, pause and remember Nietzsche's words. Ask yourself, what am I trying to achieve? What does this moment say about my own insecurities or desires? How can I use this experience for growth and learning? How to become a stronger and more sincere version of myself. Nietzsche's philosophy is not to avoid conflicts, but to overcome them. It is a call to rise above the noise, to face life's challenges with courage and creativity, to live according to our highest potential. It is an invitation to become architects of our own destiny, creators of meaning and masters of our own lives. Perhaps this is the main lesson of Nietzsche. The greatest argument is not with words, but with the life we choose to live. Thank you for your attention.